Therapy, it started from April mid, as I said, and it continued for a very long time. Hey yo, what is up? This is Bishwet Bashak and I'm finally back with part 2, which is Road to Recovery from the disc herniation experience that I had for most of 2021. And honestly, abhi bhi thora hai. It is still there, but I'm getting better, much better. And if you have watched part 1, that is where I have spoken most about ki kaise mera disc herniation hua. What was the experience like? What is disc herniation and kisko ho sakta hai? And it is not just people who train it. It can mostly happen to people with sedentary life. Also, detailed discussion with my spine specialist, Dr. Shumayu Dutta. So if you haven't watched part 1, I will highly recommend that you first watch part 1 before you start watching part 2, which is Road to Recovery. What all did I do? How did I more or less recover? Still not there yet, but still in a much better condition. What all caused that recovery? This is what this part is all about. Before we begin this video, I will highly recommend, just like the last video, please watch it till the very end, एकदम last तक देखना, because इसमें मैं मेरा पूरा experience के बारे में बात करूँगा regarding my recovery. So क्या therapy चला, like what conventional therapy went into. What exercises did I follow जो मेरे को recover होने में help किया? What are certain surgeries that were suggested to me to take up as options? But whatever I'm going to tell is just based on my personal experience. मैं कोई pain specialist नहीं हूँ, and I only want you to use it as reference and see what works for you, and just take it forward accordingly. Because as far as from my last videos feedback that I got, which is ki this is quite a few of you guys are experiencing this and maybe haven't still consulted the right people or just going through it. So iska altitude different ho sakta hai, so again it can be very subjective. So please isko reference hisab se use kijiye and see how that goes for you, and I'll be really glad if it helps even one of you. I'll be really glad, and my purpose to make this video will be solved. Before we start again, please bhai ko thoda support. Do like, subscribe and share. And yes, another part is going to come up, which is going to be about my comeback, how I transformed again myself from this scenario, how did I gain my strength back, what all I did. So part 3 is coming to this also, so please subscribe, click the bell icon so that you don't miss a chance to see any of my videos that I'm going to bring it up, and I only making this to add value to your lives. Let's go. Let's start straight with the therapy. सीधे मुद्दे पे आते हैं. The first doctor that I consulted was Dr. Debojyoti Chakraborty. When मेरा pain है वो उभर के आया एकदम. वो थे मेरे physiotherapist, and वहाँ पे मेरे mostly 3 things that we could do. Where first was IFT, which is called interferential therapy. Second, we did deep tissue massages. And third was rehabilitation exercises. The IFT का पूरा in-depth idea नहीं है भाई को, but जो मेरे को समझ में आया is what I'm going to quickly let you guys know. It is something like a black tape kind of thing. अगर आप physiotherapy किए हो तो आपको पता होगा मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. And that is placed around the trigger point of your pain. Electrical shock waves kind of thing is been radiated to stimulate the muscles around and enhance your recovery. Second was deep tissue massage. Deep tissue massage क्यों दिया जा रहा था? Because my muscles around that area, or my left, the posterior chain of my left leg, पीछे का side, वहाँ पूरा that area was getting really tight to an extent like I could not extend my knee completely because the hamstrings and calf area were getting so tight. बहुत tight हो जा रहा था. So for which deep tissue massage was constantly being given to relax that area. And third, which I said was the rehabilitation routines that I did. वो मैं आपको in details थोड़ा बाद में बताऊंगा towards the end of this video, because that is something that I would like to talk to you in details. With my physiotherapist, ये चला 4 से 6 weeks. So March 2021 से mid April 2021 तक चला. फिर आ गया लॉकडाउन. The physiotherapist clinic was connected to a gym. अब जिम सारे बंद हो गए, तो फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट का क्लिनिक भी बंद हो गया. अभी मैं गया, अभी क्या होगा मेरे साथ? And that is where I choose to contact my chiropractor, Dr. Mousum Mera. Why did I not choose to connect to him previously? It's simply because the distance to my chiropractor is way more than my distance to my physiotherapist. So obviously I chose the one where I could commute on a daily basis if need be. So I got in touch. I knew that this is the only person who I know right now can help me with. And immediately we started our therapy there. अभी chiropractor है, so obviously there was a lot of adjustments that was part of the therapy. और जो हम लोग को सुन के लगता है कि bone cracking, वैसा कुछ होता नहीं है, but then एकदम दिखने में वैसा ही लगता है. So कभी आपको इधर घुमा के इस तरीके से पकड़ के and then he will make those bones crack and make those movements in your spinal cord. I know देखने में काफी डरावना लगता है, but I can't explain it to you guys कि ये कितना relaxing है. See, all you need to do is simply just let go of or let yourself loose, trust your chiropractor and उनको उनका काम करने दीजिए. Just let him take control of your body and you will come out really relaxed, given if your chiropractor knows what he or she is doing. That clause is definitely there. और इसके अलावा as usual चला IFT जो मैंने पहले बताया था, which is interferential therapy, that electrical shock waves kind of thing that is passed through your muscles. उसके साथ साथ यहाँ पे चला UST also, ultrasound therapy. Ultrasound waves that are passed through your muscles basically to reach the point of injury and help it recover. And again a lot of rehabilitation routines for which you need to stay glued to this video and last tak dekho. I'm going to share what all I did. ये मेरा chiropractor के साथ जो therapy है, it started from April mid as I said and it continued for a very long time and it's still continuing as a matter of fact. So April से लेके April, May, June, July, August and then September I resumed training a little bit. And it's still continuing September, October, November, December and it's still अभी उतना intensive नहीं है but it's still continuing. ये lockdown के बीच में you know traveling can be really a pain. तो वहाँ पे मेरे chiropractor ने मेरे को एक prescription बना के दिया था जो मैंने carry किया था, which basically stated what happened to me and why I need to go and it's an urgency. मेरे को एक बार पकड़ा भी था, so that is where that prescription did come into hand. But this traveling wasn't fun because this traveling mein the pain used to come up, creep up and बहुत दर्दनाक रहता था, especially driving में where I had to extend my left leg to, that is where the pain was on the left side, जहाँ पे I had to you know take my leg and press the clutch mostly. Bhai, it was not a very pleasant experience at all. Progress in this can literally be painfully slow. कभी कभार weeks लग जाते थे to show even some improvement कि मेरा दर्द कम हो रहा है या क्या हो रहा है पता नहीं. Like ऐसे लगता था कि मैं अगर 4 steps आगे ले रहा हूँ तो मैं 2 steps पीछे जा रहा हूँ. And every single time, like you know, say especially when you're moving, you're doing your daily activity, you're driving and you're in the middle, मतलब ऐसे लगता था, especially there is this point that comes up, I'm coming back from my chiropractor to back home and I was driving and there is this point where मैं बैठा हूँ and I can't move up nor I can drive properly. I'm sweating, there is so much pain एंड मेरे दिमाग में चल रहा है कि कुछ हो, कुछ करो. आई जस्ट वॉन्ट टू गेट रिड ऑफ दिस पेन एंड गेट बैक टू माई बेसिक नॉर्मल लाइफ, लाइक वॉकिंग, sitting down and talking to people, just back to those usual daily activity. How can I do that? And that is where I got in touch with a very close relative of mine, Ashish Da, who works at Medica Multi-Speciality Hospital, because I needed a solution to this. And that is where I got in touch with Dr. Shumayu Datta, my spine specialist at Medica Multi-Speciality Hospital for my spine, for my lower back, and figuring it out what should be the future plan of action. So we are waiting to enter that door. Because this pain was so much out of control, हद से ज़्यादा था कि I really wanted to consider at that point of time surgery as an option. 6 महीने हो गए थे कंजर्वेटिव केयर थेरेपी करते करते. द पेन वॉज रिड्यूसिंग बट एट अ वेरी 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 स्लो रेट. दिन में ऐसे 2-3 ऐसे एपिसोड्स आते थे ऑफ पेन वेयर आई हैड टू लिटरली स्टॉप एवरीथिंग एंड जस्ट लाई डाउन फॉर सम टाइम, 20-30 minutes, to let the pain subside. And that is where I really wanted to consult somebody who maybe will be able to take this pain away from me faster.
The good part is that most of these heal on their own. Okay. With medicine and the right physiotherapy protocol, correct, some lifestyle modification.
Correct. So 3-4 weeks it was like stagnant.
Yeah.
Right? It got down.
So it improved a bit and then it just
flattened out. And then right now again I see like this kind of improvement.
Yeah.
Like honestly speaking, today I'm like, I feel so good. Like I feel the pain, but I can just feel the reduction. So that's the positive side. Because I was, trust me, the day I had met you and I was going back home, the pain went up and I was driving. Like understand this thing, like I was, like the music is playing out loud. I can't hear the music because of this pain. I'm just palpitating because of the pain. I'm like constantly in that pain. And I'm like considering I will just get that surgery done, just move it off and get back to my normal life.
Yeah. So it's a good progress. No, from there today, the pain is much better.
Yes.
You're able to. Yesterday you did some exercise.
I did some exercise. Yesterday was literally my day 1.
Yeah. So it's totally been about 3 months. So we expect some amount of improvement up to 6 months. Very comfortable to wait for 6 months.
Right.
So this seems on track.
Okay.
If it keeps going this way,
I don't need the surgery.
I don't need the surgery. And if the pain does come back, then we'll have to reconsider.
Even after consulting Dr. Shumayu Datta, the verdict was the same. He asked me to continue with the conservative care simply because even though it is very slowly, it is showing improvement. He thought because of my age and my solid training background, I will be able to pull this through. All those years of training was a big plus for me. Big props to Dr. Shumayu Datta, because he did not make it sound as if the surgery was literally the only option. He literally understood what is good for me, what is bad for me, what are the options that I have, and then he laid down his suggestions, giving that surgery is always there if things doesn't work out, but because improvement ho raha hai, you should go for it. Now the surgery that he specializes in is called the keyhole surgery. So where at the point of the injury jahan pe mera disc herniation hua hai, he's going to just go through only that point and just cut off the herniation जो jelly और जो inflammation होके है उसको बस निकाल देगा, so that my nerve can go free again. But for that, post the surgery, I again need to be very cautious and kind of be in a state of rest for another 6 months. So that was again playing with my mind. But then hamesha, till the pain went down to a certain point, I was always contemplating on that surgery, because the pain would just go up to certain extent at certain point of the day ki bas you can't bear it. You just can't bear it at all. And all you're thinking is, how do I get rid of it? I would also like to take give my thanks to my better half, Rashmi. And because she would always sit back and tell me that, just go with it. You are progressing. Even though it's slow, you are going there. Let's not count on it to XYZ date. And then when that date would come, she would go next date and then next date. And that is where I kept improving, even though it was very slow, kept improving. And then finally in September, my chiropractor gives me a green signal that I can start with my training, with some sort of training. But before I could start with this training, all this period, this 6 months, I had to go through a lot of rehabilitation routine, and as I had promised you guys, I will talk to you about that. Both my chiropractor as well as my physiotherapist had suggested, but in the initial stage, I mostly was dependent on the conservative care therapies these doctors did on me, like adjustments, like IFT, like UST, because I simply could not move. It was that painful. Baki sare movements were like anything was irrelevant. I just could not move. But here are some of the movements that I did, even though it caused immense pain. I had to get them done because that is something that would help me recover. The first one being nerve flossing. This is the technique for nerve flossing, and this is where in the initial stage, if you can see, I could not even extend my knee even a little bit. My left knee was just stuck. My dad came into play. कुछ महीने पहले उनका तबीयत खराब था. It was me who helped my dad get back to his rhythm. Now it's time to pay back. So he comes into the picture and he helps me with even lifting my feet up all the way. If you can see, ये पूरा एक time में जाता भी नहीं था. And then he would come into the picture and he would help me get that up, and I would slowly pull it down and then again up. And this is where all I'm doing is I'm just rolling the sciatic nerve जो impinge होके है, so that it can get some space to relax and help it recover. There is this back extension position that you can see completely, and even in this one, excruciating pain. I needed the help of my dad even in this one to complete the task, so that the impingement, basically the herniation that has happened, disc जो बाहर निकला है because of this extension, it might get some space to re-enter back. कभी भी पूरा जाता नहीं है, पूरा अंदर maybe कभी जाएगा भी नहीं, but it kind of gives it a place to reposition itself so that the nerve can go free. The nerve doesn't need a lot of space to get free. उसको ज़्यादा जगह चाहिए नहीं होता है to stay, but उसको अगर आप उंगली करोगे तो आपका भी जीना हराम कर देगा, and that is what exactly happened with me. So उसको बस जगह करने के लिए is why these movements were there. Again, I did a lot of planks to make sure that my surrounding midsection area continue to stay engaged, muscle recruitment hota rahe, strong rahe, so that I can get back. And as and when I could, जो basic movements होते थे मेरे से, अगर मेरे से squat हो पा रहा है तो मैं squat करता, अगर मेरे से मैं थोड़ा चलने के लिए मेरे से आसानी हो रहा है तो मैं चलता. So basically, whatever movements, whatever simple movements, if I could sit with a little bit of ease, I would sit and stand up on the chair. Simply just do basic movements that I anyway could, other than these rehabilitation moves that I just showed you. And as I kept moving, I kept better, and all the therapy work that was going on with my chiropractor, that kept adding on, and I got better. And it took me a lot of time. It took me almost 6 months to even reach a stage where I could consider training or going back to my gym. But amidst this time, there is one thing I definitely need to tell is I would really like to go across and thank all my clients who I kept training in this period, but they understood my scenario and they would give me that bit of buffer where I could train them by moving the least. They would understand my hurdle and they would let me take the pace the way I would want it so that I could recover. And that definitely also played a huge role in this recovery. So if you are seeing this, if you are one of my clients, I'm just telling Thank you so much for understanding and bearing with me at that point of time. So finally, my chiropractor in September asks me to that I can resume training with some sort of training, but with extreme precaution. So I'm just very mindful of the fact that these trigger points shouldn't come.
Like, so things you want to avoid: crunches, leg raises, deadlifts, squats, weighted squats.
Right.
These ones you want to avoid.
For now.
For now.
All I would simply keep in mind while doing these movements is, again, pain, according to me, or what it has taught me, it is very much psychological as well. So I let my body tell me what I'm doing is correct for that injury or it is something that is not. Simply by understanding or doing a movement and making sure that is it generating the pain, and if it does, then I would just stop and alter it. So being in the training for so long, at least I would know a couple of ways of doing the same kind of training or targeting the similar kind of muscle group. So I would just alter it in a way that would not trigger the pain, but still would help me target the muscle group that I want to train. So simply listening to my body, if it is generating pain, I don't do that movement, I alter that movement and I do some other movement through which that pain, if in that movement, if my pain is not getting generated, then I continue doing that. It's as simple as that. Just being mindful of the pain, of what your body is trying to tell you. After maintaining this caution for entire September, gradually from October is where I start feeling that I think I am getting back to my rhythm. I think I am training like Bishwait Boshak again. I think I can pull this through. I think finally after 6-7 months of all this hustle that I went through, all this pain that I endured, I'm finally at the place where I see the staircase that is going to take me upwards again. It was in this month that I could feel that I could again get back to my normal life. I could again just simply walk again, sit down and talk to somebody for long without feeling the back going sore, that pain radiating down. Simply the regular stuff that we often take for granted is what I started being so grateful for again. Because it was a long time I couldn't do these activities without being or experiencing excruciating pain. Eventually I got better. In December, bhai ne shadi bhi kar li to the girl that I've always been with, Rashmi, for the last 15-16 years. And the best part is that I got married to her without the pain. That was something that was always in my mind because we were considering getting married for a long time and we already had a date, and I was already worried ki I don't want to do this with pain lingering on my back. Finally, I could do it in December without any such pain that would hinder me experience this moment, this life-changing moment. But I think this pain definitely played a role in my life. These moments of where I couldn't do the basic things of my life, basic things of going out somewhere, just simply walking, just simply sitting down and talking to and having fun with people, talking to friends. These simple things that I couldn't do. October onwards, basically, it made me value them. The fact that I can do them with my loved ones, with my friends, with the people that matter. It's a moment that I couldn't experience the 6 months. They made me realize the value of these simple things of life. So yeah, that is what it was for me for the most of 2021. I hope this video brought some value to you guys who watched it right till the very end. So thank you to you guys for bearing, for watching it, for staying patient, for watching it till here. And I hope if you have watched it, it has brought some value to your lives too. If you are experiencing something like that, please use this only as a reference. Do consult your expert. See what they have to say regarding your condition and take it up accordingly. But please be patient with it. It is going to get better. Trust me, I've been there. I've been through this process. Just telling you, hold on. You got this. You will get over this. And I would just like to end this video with saying that please do share, subscribe, like this video, or don't like this video, then please put on that also if it did not add any value at all. Do drop in your comments. Please let me know if there is anything that you have to ask me personally. Please drop in those comments. If you have to, just let me know if you put some value to your life or not. Do let me know. And I would catch you in the next part of this series of my back or disc herniation, where I show you my transformation. How did I come back after that? And that is going to be part 3. I'm going to go grab some lunch right now and see you in part 3.